Hey, I'm Pastor Fred. This is the Follow Through. We are listening to God and living for Him. And we are talking about peace all week. Like, what's the peace of God look like? Like I think all of us need it. And just the other night, let me just tell you what happened. It was like 2 a.m. Something wakes me up. I don't know what it was. And I immediately start thinking, like the thought train has left the station and here we go. And I'm just astounded, like why can't I remember all these things that I got to do, all these things maybe that I've put off doing or forgot to do? Why can't I have a clear, kind of list of those things at 2 p.m., like when I'm awake, like when I'm like here doing this, so that I can have the energy and I'm awake and it's kind of like the right thing to do. 2 a.m. is like sleep time. It's not, take care of everything on your to-do list. And I think it's one of those things that, again, there is a lot on our minds, that there's a lot that weighs us down. And what happens, and I found myself doing this, it was 2 a.m. and I'm like, man, I gotta stop. I gotta get some sleep. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought about other things, right? And pretty much anything that I possibly would have to do just came flooding in, and it was like, man, I just can't stop it. And the problem is not like me trying to get some technique to try to slow myself down and stop the train, but I gotta remember, like, it's looking at Him, looking to Jesus, looking to the one that my faith is in, that's what I need to do, right? Open up your Bibles. Let's look at Psalm 4, verse 8. Now, this is one of those, this would be great to have like right next to your bed or something. He says, "In peace I will both lie down and sleep." Right? So, that the other night I laid down, but I didn't sleep. But why can he do that? Because we might look at that and go, David, how could you do that? I mean, David had issues. David had problems. He had a weight on him. He was a king. Right? And he had some personal things, and he had things going on and people trying to take his throne. And I mean, a lot of things were happening. So like, how does he sleep at night and I can't? Like how? He says, "For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." And if you go 2 verses back, in verse 6, he says, "There are many who say, 'Who will show us some good?' Lift up the light of your face upon us, O Lord. You have put more joy in my heart than they have when their grain and wine abound." So in other words, our life is all about, like, again, good stuff, more stuff, enough stuff equals happiness, peace, and all of that. We know that's not true, because you almost will never have enough if that's your kind of recipe for happiness, and that if that's what is going to make you, and that alone, make you all good. And so he's saying, look, God is the one who's put joy in our hearts. He's the one who allows me to dwell in safety. Even if there's threats, even when there's issues, He's there, right? Even if my to-do list is just never ending, right? And I'd have to scroll on my phone for a minute to get through all of them. He's still my source of safety, security, love, forgiveness. And in fact, I don't have to deal with the two worst things, and that's sin and death. He has defeated both of those on the cross and in the empty tomb. How awesome is that? I pray that you hear that. I pray that that brings you peace, because your ultimate well-being He has taken care of. Now again, as we talked about yesterday, right, you're going to have trouble, there's going to be issues, but He's got you. I'll never forget, I knew someone a long time ago who just seemed to have it all together, and this person just got so much done. And I asked her, I said, how do you sleep at night? Just thinking that this person, gets no sleep and they're just running 24/7, but that was not true at all. This person got a really healthy amount of sleep and rested, but when they were at work, man, they were just killing it and doing all kinds of stuff. And this person said it's actually really funny, but it was just something that has stuck with me. She said, when I, lay my head down at night, I realize that God has got everything under His control while I sleep. And I think she may have joked like, and I take it all from him when I get up in the morning. But I know that's not true, because I know this person, gave everything to God and received everything from him, all that they were able to do. And that's just so clutch, isn't it? So key to know. Like, he can run the world while you're sleeping. And maybe that's what can put us back to sleep. Maybe that's what can help us to really rest and have this peace that he did, because that David had, because we know that he alone is able to make things right. And he's got, and that thing you're worrying about, he's going to work it out. He's gonna. He always does, right? He's always looking for the good for those who love him, who walk with him, because he walks with us. And I pray that makes all the difference for you today, to know, right? And not just today, but tonight as you're resting, that you can just rest in him, knowing, hey, he's got me, he's got this, and he's going to give you the strength you need the next day to deal with whatever it is that you've got to get after, all right? So we'll see you next time for another one of our follow-throughs.